might do several little couples Q&As. Maybe once we compile enough, we could do a much longer video. But for now, this is, going to be our little shortened version, because I want to answer the questions that people have already posted to us. Don't want them to think that we've forgotten them. So, Penny Vestina. Hello, Penny. It's nice to...
Hey, Pen.
Hey, thank you so much for submitting some of these questions for us. One of them is, do y'all plan on having children? Short answer is no. We really thought about it, and even though technically people have had children, like women's have had children at 40, I just can't see myself doing it. I'm at the point in my life where I've really been a family caretaker for the majority of my life, and I think this is my time for just to be all about me and Jeff.
Definitely. And I'm 50 years old. I'm 15, 17 years from retirement. No, not me.
Yeah, and I just don't think it'd be really fair to a child at this point in our lives.
Am I good with children? Heck yeah.
He is.
I love them in grocery stores. I love them. When my friends have kids, I love them. But do I have the patience to raise them? No, I don't. Not at my age.
I'm starting to get to that point too in my life. We've always just wanted furry kids.
And we made a deal that our animals are our kids. I treat Olive like she's my little girl. And I mean that. I was in PetSmart for an hour the other day looking for one toy. That's pitiful. And that brings up the point is, what if we were younger? What would go through our minds about kids as CP falls in? I don't think CP is genetic.
From what I've known, I mean, we're not experts on this. We haven't really researched into it, so you can kind of take it with a grain of salt. But from my knowledge, it's not hereditary.
But Lynn, the reason why I wanted a child growing up when I was a little younger is there's a lot of things that I was robbed of because I had CP. I couldn't play football. I couldn't go out for the regular team. I had to leave class early. I was in special ed, yada, yada, yada. I struggled with dating. So in my dream, I want to never have a child to fulfill my dream. But let's get real, that's not a reason to have a child. But that was my only motivation of having children. And so I'm kind of glad I didn't fall in love and have that child, because I would have been hard on that child, because I would have wanted him to do everything that I could not do. And that wouldn't have been fair to that child. Do you agree?
I think a child, on the flip side, I think our child would learn how to be a very accepting human being of people who are different. I think that's the one plus. But at our age, I just don't think it's something we're very interested in. I made the decision very early on that unless I met the right man at the right time, I was not going to have kids. And I'm pretty happy about that decision. Because for me, having a child is such a big decision, and it's not one to be taken too lightly.
And another side of it, real quick, and we'll move on, is my worst fear is that my child would be bullied as a result of Dad having CP. And that I don't think I could live through. So that's one of the areas of, you could call it weakness or strength, depending on how you look at it. But I call it being real, you know. So that was one of the thoughts in my head when I thought about having children.
And it's something we talked about very early in our relationship, because I just wanted to make sure that we were on the same page before we proceeded to fall in love and get married. So that was, well, thank you so much for the question. I know that's just one thing that everyone's going to want to know if Jeff and I were going to have kids. And we're happy with our furry children. And Olive. Another one that she had for us was, have you ever tried CBD or marijuana to help with your CP symptoms?
I don't want to go there. That's a personal choice due to some decisions that I've made in the past. I don't want to go there. Would it help me? Probably so. But I'm not willing to go there. And to be honest, Lynn, I think it might calm me down. It might get rid of some of the little shakes. But let's be honest, the shakes are who I am. I mean, I've learned to cope with the shakes. I'm 50 years old now. I'm not about to, I mean, you might not love me without my shakes. You know, I don't know. We might have never met if it wasn't for my shakes. I don't know.
I just say one thing about dating a man and falling in love with a man with CP is they have a nice, because they're
grip.
Nice grip. And when you're holding hands with someone with such a nice, strong grip, it's very, for me, it helps with the bonding with me, and I feel secure with him when he's holding my hand, and I feel that strong grip. I'm like, I feel so secure.
You remember that conversation? We were dating about a month, and I've never, this is really my first love, so I've never known what it was like walking in the park holding hands with somebody. So I told Lynn that, you know, when people get close to me, I get real tight. And she sees it when I'm stressed out. And she goes to touch my leg, I cringe. And I was really, really afraid that was going to be a barrier in our life, wasn't I?
Yes, you were very concerned about that.
And it wasn't the CP. It was the stress level. So when I met Lynn, my stress level went down. Because I wasn't, you know, I wasn't seeking something. And about 2 months later, we revisited that conversation, and there was no issue when we embraced.
Oh no, you were so relaxed. It was just, I guess it just felt so right between us. I think that's what made the difference. It's like, when you know it's right, you're so comfortable with each other. And I was very happy to see that in him.
My biggest area for opportunity is stress. Stress tightens muscles. Me wanting more out of my life and not accomplishing more really stresses me out. So what's that tell you? It don't tell me to get frickin' CBD oil. It tells me to chill the hell out and learn to enjoy what you got. And that's just how I roll. Keep in mind, this is all a personal decision. I'm not a doctor. And I had a friend of mine tell me he was taking CBD oil a week ago. I'm like, I hope it works for you, you know. But if you ask me for my opinion, I'm going to give it to you.
All right. One of her last questions was directed to me. She wanted to know what I did for a living. So for about, I believe it's 8 years now, I've been a veterinary technician. I went to vet tech school. It's been kind of on and off for me. I had a lot of, my mother was ill, so I had to take a lot of time off between jobs to take care of her, which is a sacrifice that I never will regret making for my mom, to be there for her. For now, I'm totally burnt out on being a vet tech, and unfortunately it happens in our profession. It's a very hard job on you physically and emotionally. So my plans is, starting in January, I'm going to be going into a program that's going to teach me how to clean and sterilize surgical instruments. And that's something I've done as a veterinary technician for many years. So for me, that's taking something that I enjoy doing as a veterinary technician, but doing in the human medicine field. And I don't know if I will ever go back to being a vet tech. If I find the right clinic and the right people to work with, I would be very open to it. But for now, I'm just, for my own mental health and for my physical health, I had to step back from it. But thank you so much for asking that. I know a lot of people want to know, and right now I'm just kind of in a holding pattern until I start school. Thank you so much for that question. Let me go on to the others that we had. So we had a question from Lotus. She asked this about 4 weeks ago, and I do apologize it took us so long to get back to you. She wanted to know, two-part questions. The first one's for me. She wanted to know what inspired me to finally take a chance and reach out to Jeff, and was I nervous? Well, for me, I'm one of those, yes, I'm shy, and I could be on the side of caution, maybe a little too much. Jeff is the one here who is the
Daredevil.
daredevil. Yeah, he is.
Let's climb that tree.
So for me, it was very, I always had that interview that I saw, that Jeff originally did with Chris, and it always was in my mind. And that to me was kind of something that was telling me that there's probably something there if I just can't stop thinking about him, even though I was trying to live my life and going through some personal changes at the time. So it just wasn't right for me to reach out to him. I wasn't in a good place emotionally. When I did get to that point where I was in a much better place emotionally, it was really strange. Is this one night I was trying to chill out before going to bed, and I happened to see his interview again, and I wanted to watch it again. And I kid you not, it was like I can almost hear my mother's voice, because unfortunately my mother passed away about 3 years ago, and I heard her voice in my head saying, "Just email the guy already, Lynn. Just email him." Because it was my mother's, one of her greatest wishes was for me to find a good man to fall in love with and settle down with. So, and he is exactly what my mom would have wanted for me as a husband. So I have my moments where I'm a go-getter. I'm like, it doesn't hurt to at least email him. And I did, and I never expected him to email me back. I honestly didn't. I thought, he probably is in a relationship by now, or maybe my email will just get lost. So I was just, and I was nervous, but I was okay with taking that risk. Because even if it didn't happen, I would still be okay. At least I could say, hey, I took that risk. At least I did it. I don't have to live with any regret later on down the road, thinking, what if?
What ifs get you in regret.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it already.
Yes, and I'm so so very happy I did, because
Me too.
you got back to me right away. I was like shocked the next day to have him say, "Hey, you sound like a pretty cool person. Can we set up a time to talk on the phone?"
And it was crazy because of that interview, I bet you I received at least 1,000 emails. No joke. And most of them were legit, but you didn't feel anything. Well, when I read the content, I felt something, and it was like something touched me. And I replied, and here we are.
Yes.
13 months from walking down the aisle.
It's sometimes I still wonder if it actually really happened, because it's really something greater than ourselves that made this happen. I truly believe that, and I know my mom had to have a hand in it. All right, so for Jeff, she wanted to know, what was it like for you when she reached out? And I know you were kind of touched on that.
It was a weird set of emotions, because due to that video, I probably talked to 20 women on the phone. And I've had a few fly in to see me, and just no chemistry. And I was kind of at the point where I've given up. I said this phone call, but the expectation wasn't that. I was over the high expectations that I'm gonna get this email and we're gonna live happily ever after. I was just like, let me try. So I went in there with no expectation. And it was like a 45 to an hour phone call.
It was. That's amazing for me, because being an introvert, it usually takes me a long time to warm up to someone. And for me to warm up to Jeff's right away was amazing, and that was a sign to me that this is
and
real.
It took me a good 2, maybe 3 months to tell my family about it. I think I told them a week before I flew her in. Mama loved that. But I guess I was tired of going to my family and saying, wow, I got this good opportunity, and then it fall through the crack. Then I feel like I failed to my family. So I quit going to them about every little date, every little chat. So a week before she flew in, I said, guess what, Mom? We're having somebody for Sunday dinner. And you can imagine how that went.
Thankfully, it worked out perfectly. And I was able to talk to at least his sister knew. His sister reached out, one of his sisters reached out to me, and we kind of chatted beforehand. So, sorry, Sparky's tired.
Football wears me out.
It does.
I'm high maintenance when it comes to football.
And I'm high maintenance when it comes to my garage sailing and estate sales. So, thank you so much for the awesome question. Another one is from TTMSP. Wanted to know, what's a pet name you find really weird? Like, do we have pet names that we just kind of make us cringe? And I have a couple from Jeff. When we first started dating, I think Jeff was still kind of talking to me like he would another bro. So he would call me Booger. Hey, Booger. And I'm like, Booger? Why Booger? So I went along with it for a while, but then when he started calling me Poopy, that's like, why do you want to call me?
Well, my dad called my mom Poopy, so it's my dad's fault. And so So I really had to retrain my brain to get rid of poopy. And still today, I got synonyms. I got words lined up to back me up. When I go to call a poopy, I turn it into something else. So I got ways to work around that.
Yeah,
But I know it really did bother her, and I changed.
it did. But when I found out that that was his father's term of endearment for his mother, it kind of made it a little better. But that didn't explain where the booger came from.
Yeah.
That didn't explain that one, but...
Or Tigger and Booger. Those were my imaginary friends. Which can't reappear later on in life when I really needed a friend. Which one of yours? I mean, the whole world knows your pet name for me, Sparky.
Sparky.
And I like Sparky. But she called me a few cutie.
Cutie, babe. I mean, just the kind of the basic ones. Have I ever had a name that I've called you that you didn't like?
No.
I've never asked you.
No, you're one up on me in that area. I got some growing to do.
Yeah, but he's gotten a lot better. One of my favorite ones he calls me is Sparkles.
Sparkle.
That really suits me. So.
Sparkle butterfly.
Butterfly Sugar.
My little butterfly.
I love Sugar.
My little angel. She saved my life. I call her Angel alive. I call her Cutie.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Yes.
'Cause you are.
Thank you.
Sparkles is the one that sticks.
It is.
Because it goes along with Sparky.
Sparky
And you like Sparkles. My goodness.
I
walked. First time I came to Colorado, I thought I walked in a room. I felt like I sat in John Travolta here because it felt like Saturday Night Fever. So we working on that.
Yeah. I'm learning how to turn our bedroom a little sparkly.
It's a give and take thing.
Yeah.
You know, I like my football, my man cave, and she likes her vintage and
My sparkle.
sparkle sound.
But I've been doing good. Our bedroom is starting to turn more into a mix of us, and I really enjoy that. But thank you for letting me keep some of my sparkle.
Sure.
Let's see. There was another question from her. What's something cool you'll forever love doing together? Having deep conversations.
Oh, yeah.
We have some really great deep conversations. They just come out of nowhere too. It just like before bedtime, I'll come up with something and we just kind of go back and forth, and we're really good at these soul talks.
I'm gonna tear up, but the freedom to be vulnerable and cry. Today's my dad's birthday. Yesterday was his anniversary of his death. We were watching a ball game. Well, I was, and she was supporting me.
Yes.
And I started tearing up. And I cried on her shoulder. And today we went to lunch on my dad's birthday, and she said, "Tell me about your dad." It's moments like that. That's why I love this woman. I can be real. I don't have to be strong. Matter of fact, I work on that every day. It's not being so strong. And those are the moments that I cherish.
Me too. Definitely. I've been pretty vulnerable around him. He's seen me when my depression is at its worst. He's literally picked me up from the floor crying. And he's taken care of me. And the way he supports me and loves me through these times, I really cherish that about you.
And you know, I mean, people, I'm sure the community thinks we emailed, we fell in love, and we're floating on cloud nine. That's not necessarily true. I had to learn how to be vulnerable with a woman. And you know how I learned? She pointed it out to me. She said, Jeff, I can tell something's wrong. Why don't you talk to me? And that bothered me. It didn't bother me because she was wrong. It bothered me that she had to say it. So I've really been working on that. We make a joke anytime we wake up, and I go really deep on it, like from the get-go. I feel like I got an excuse to lay around and watch football all day, so...
So that was your... I didn't know that there was a motive here when he did that. And please, don't be too concerned about Simone there. We do keep a really good eye on her. We're within arm's reach, so if she's never tried to jump, but I know that makes some people, and actually that makes me a little nervous.
Makes me nervous.
So we are going to be working on that, so please do trust that we're going to be working on this little one so she doesn't get hurt, because she's a bit of a daredevil at times, so I don't think she understands.
Like me.
Yes, like you. Any plans to get a second dog or other pet? As of now, I mean, our recent video we showed that we have, we take care of my brother's cat Spumoni, and we have the 2 guinea pigs and 2 rats. Eventually, for now, that's going to be what we're going to be sticking with. I recently have lost 2 elderly dogs this year, and for now, it was old age, and it's taken a big toll on me, so I'm giving myself a chance to heal from that. And for now, later down the road, we do want another dog, because Olive loves having a dog in her life. So,
I love Olive.
I know you do.
I love Olive like a sister.
A daughter?
A daughter, sorry.
No, you're good.
I always get in trouble with that.
But yeah, we eventually do want to get another dog.
I'm in trouble a lot.
You're good.
Especially on the weekend between September and January.
Okay, so, what is our favorite restaurant to go together? Well, when we were in Louisiana, one of our hideouts was a Beta Brew Pub. And mostly because everyone knows Jeff there. And it is a very friendly environment when you're there. It's just a whole bunch of locals. We all know each other.
Tell them that story about when you truly thought about the brew pub before you came to the Vita. I would talk about where going to dinner, and I don't cook. It's all me. I'd talk about it on the phone. Then I got off work and went and ate at the pub. So we talked for 3 months. So she never asked me to go into what the brew pub is. But what the brew pub is, it's a bar/restaurant, but it's more or less a restaurant with craft beers, got an outdoor patio. So when she came in, I'm like, I'm taking you to dinner at the brew pub. So she's thinking she gonna walk into an old skanky bar with peanuts on the floor and stale beer and pool table. And you were shocked, huh?
Oh no, it was so nice in there, and the food is really good.
Yeah, Anthony's a good friend of mine, and he owns it.
Yeah, and we're friends with Terry, the head chef. I'm guessing that's his title. I never got his head title, but
No, I don't think he knows what his head title is. Actually, the staff there has been 100% supportive since day one. And for that, I appreciate that.
Yes. A lot of good people there, and we do miss them.
Yeah, we do.
We haven't really found our restaurant here in Colorado. I mean, we do love Cadova, but that's just like for simple eats. We still need to explore and find our restaurant in Colorado.
Well, Jeff found his Sundays hangout.
Yeah.
You know, Jeff's a Saints fan.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah,
And go ahead, tell him.
Yeah, we do have a restaurant. There's a New Orleans style restaurant in Colorado called Jesse's Smokin' Nolan, and that is really good. That's one of our places to go.
And he's got the NFL ticket.
Of course.
And the first day I was in town, I got an open invitation. They closed on Sunday, but whenever we're not on regular TV, he's got the NFL ticket. He said, if we're not on TV, you come by here. So hoop, there it is. I got my spot.
Yes. All right, and this is going to be a very long video, so I do apologize if it's a little too long, but we're just having we're having a good time with this. We are a lot of fun with this. Okay, is there anything that you love that the other hates?
Oh, that's easy for you to.
No, I don't
Not
think there's...
so easy for me.
I don't think there's anything that you do that I hate. I don't hate football. I just don't understand it, so I think as soon as I learn more about it, I'll be...
She does.
What do you... I don't think you do anything that I hate. I really...
Spicy food.
Oh, well...
Crawfish.
Well, it isn't I don't hate spicy food. I just physically, with my stomach issues, I just can't. I'm in a world of pain if I eat that spicy food. But yeah, I really don't have anything, to be honest. I don't think... He doesn't hate garage sailing and estate sales. He doesn't. He just doesn't. He doesn't.
I tell you what I do hate.
What?
She's a shopper.
I'm a good shopper.
It don't matter whether you save money or not. You like to shop.
I'm a woman, okay?
She shop. We went to the store to pick up Eric's birthday cake today.
No.
And I said, Lynn,
yeah.
What are we going to get? I was trying to kind of push the needle into, let's have a plan of what we need to get going. It don't work. It don't work.
I was mostly good. I couldn't help there was a really good sale on corn.
And I got in trouble. Anytime I need to break the streak of not being in trouble, I'll go grocery shopping with Lynn. I hate to shop.
Yes, you do. Whether
it's underwear or apples, it don't matter. I don't like to shop. Sorry.
So yeah, usually I'm the one who does all the grocery shopping because he just tells me what he needs and I go get it. But yeah, we're pretty lucky in that respect that we respect each other's hobbies. We may not understand them.
We compliment each other.
We really do.
I did the laundry. We did the laundry together yesterday.
He's trying to remind me of his brownie points as he saved up.
Yeah, because I got in trouble on this YouTube video.
No, you're good. You're good. So yeah, I'm very open to his interests, and I think he's pretty open to mine. He's been very good.
Yeah.
Any new hobbies you guys have picked up during quarantine? Walking. Having movie night, or having a day where we just have a whole bunch of snacks and we sit in front of the TV and binge watch Grey's Anatomy or Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
So that is the one thing we've learned to do.
We got a serious one and a funny one, so.
Yeah, we have to balance it out.
And Lynn's teaching me how to relax, and that's been good for me. You're good for me.
You're good for me. You really are. I feel like I'm becoming a little more social because of Jeff. Because you could put in a room full of strangers, and by the end of that night, I tell you, everyone is going to want to be his best friend. And I just really admire that quality in you.
Thanks a lot.
All right, one last one. Sorry this video's been so long. And let me go ahead and get the cat. She's kind of starting to get me nervous.
Yeah.
I probably will edit that part out. Sorry. Okay. And I do apologize. Sometimes I do this whining thing. I don't think it's cute. He thinks it's cute. I hear myself and I cringe. So it's one of the things he finds funny, but I look at myself and I go, man, that was really too whiny.
It's
so I apologize. One last thing. What kind of food do you guys enjoy?
That's good.
That's okay.